Okay, I'm going to present a speech on loneliness. Okay, what is loneliness? Loneliness is the idea of being alone, and it is a state of mind according to the article Loneliness, a Disease. Who can become lonely? Anyone can become lonely according to the article Relationship Between Loneliness, Psychiatric and Physical Health, a review on the psychological aspects of loneliness. It says that 80% of the population below the age of 18 and 80% of the population below or above 86 years of age has reported to have loneliness at least sometimes in their life. So anybody can become lonely. How can an individual become lonely? Heartbreak. So if you've broken up with your boyfriend or girlfriend and they've always been nice to you and you've been with them for a long time, you can become lonely if they just break up with you and you'll be really sad. Bereavement, it is like if someone dies and their death is really sad and you don't know how to cope with that, you can become lonely. Old age is also a factor in loneliness, and so is solitude, like being alone, you don't want to talk to anybody. Before I talk about how loneliness can impact you, and it's like impacts on yourself, and it's very important because loneliness can lead to many psychiatric and psychological problems. The first type of loneliness is situational loneliness. You feel like you're stuck in your environment. The environment may be overpopulated. It doesn't fit your needs and stuff like that. Developmental loneliness, it usually occurs when you're developing, like if you're younger and your parents have maybe separated and you have problems just growing up socially, like being bullied and stuff like that. Internal loneliness is feeling lonely inside yourself, and you may have low self-esteem if you have this, and poor copying strategies, and you may feel worthless. The most prominent group of people that suffer from loneliness are elderly people and adolescents, but anyone can get it, like I said. Psychology of Loneliness by Sarah Bevins. That's a book. She stated that the researchers suggested that children who experience loneliness in childhood, they'll most likely have it in their adulthood, kind of like developmental loneliness. And a research, she said in her book, they said that third through sixth grade children found that 38% of some of them had loneliness in school. If adolescents have loneliness, they'll feel like they can't talk or have friends with other people. They feel excluded, unpopular, and they have poor self-esteem. And lonely children spend more time playing by themselves than with other children, and it said that according to the book of Solitude published by Wiley Blackwell, it said that the lonely children often didn't play with other children. And the elderly, many people believe that older people specifically, they are more like lonely than any other human species, but that is a myth according to Loneliness, a Disease. And older individuals are more likely to become lonely if they have illnesses or disabilities, which they can't really get out and do stuff like they used to do, so that would make them become lonely. And it also can lead to distress and daily dysfunction in older people. Okay, if loneliness is left untreated, it can cause many of these psychological and these other symptoms like depression, Alzheimer's disease, alcoholism. I'm going to be talking about them more in depth. Depression, less happiness. Loneliness and depression share the same symptoms like helplessness and pain, and depression can increase loneliness. It can also, you can also develop Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah,
I'll put Dory up there. Studies conclude that there's a strong link between loneliness and Alzheimer's disease, or AD, but they don't really know, like yet they're still researching about it. Alcoholism, bad judgment is a characteristic of loneliness, so if a person is already dealing with alcoholism and they're already drinking really heavily, loneliness can only get worse in their lives, and it lacks their social support as well. Stress and the immune system, acute stress, which is like it only lasts for like a short period of time, and chronic stress, which should last way longer than that. And according to the article, relationship between loneliness, it said that loneliness has been associated with impaired cellular immunity as well. And suicide, what I thought was really neat, it said the peak season for loneliness is spring and winter, and that's the same as suicide. So there's obviously something in between those two. And it can also cause sleep disorders such as poor sleep quality and daytime dysfunction, which is like feeling tired and you can't really feel like you can do, like go to work, go to school, you just want to go home and lay in bed. And if someone is struggling with loneliness, it is important to know that it can be treated. It is important to give others support. If you know someone that is struggling with loneliness, to just help them out, be a friend to them. And if you are struggling with loneliness, it's important to develop social skills, like go out with your friends, just ask somebody to do something with you, and make opportunities, and recognizing your bad behavior is also. And it can be treated, like I said. So if you're struggling with loneliness, it is really important to help others and figure it out. And there's more excited.